Hello, my name is Will Fleck, and I'm a first-year student within the Shire Honors College. As a college student myself, I understand the unique challenge that the college environment poses for students academically, physically, emotionally, socially, and especially financially. Now, while I think that we are frequently reminded of the importance of our academic standing, our physical health, our emotional health, and our social well-being, I think that our financial health is severely underappreciated. College students are in a distinctive financial situation. We are still significantly dependent upon our parents, but are rapidly making that transition towards personal responsibility in all aspects of life, especially within the financial realm. Many college students will begin to apply for credit cards, take out student loans if they haven't already, and may even start to pay taxes on part-time jobs they work. However, it is demonstrable that even with this increase in financial responsibility, college students are overall grossly uneducated on the topic of financial literacy, which I define as the ability to observe, assess, and synthesize a plan that effectively allocates expenses and savings in order to achieve financial stability and freedom. In fact, the National Council on Economic Education found both high school students and working age adults to be sorely deficient in fundamental financial knowledge. But despite this widespread inaptitude by college students and young adults, financial literacy is extremely important. Financial literacy has frequently been identified as a key factor in separating those of lower and higher socioeconomic status. Now, while financial literacy is obviously just one small piece of the puzzle and does not account for other variables like educational opportunities, family background, and inherited wealth, it is still strongly identified with cultivating positive behaviors for one's financial health. For instance, a 2005 study found that financially sophisticated households were more likely to invest efficiently by purchasing high yield assets. This finding was corroborated in later studies by researchers Kimball and Shumway, who identified a large correlation between financial knowledge and successful portfolios. Now, in addition to cultivating constructive financial behaviors, financial literacy has also been shown to avert destructive ones. In fact, multiple analyses investigating common characteristics of homeowners that defaulted on their mortgage during the 2008 subprime lending crisis reveal a misunderstanding of their home equity value and future payment structure as a significant factor. The researchers deem this a lack of numerical ability, clearly something associated with financial illiteracy. I hope that the previous examples demonstrate the importance of financial literacy, regardless of your age, education level, or even socioeconomic status. Clearly, financial literacy is not just something that's reserved for the highest levels of income earners, but is in fact the most important for everyday Americans to get ahead and to pursue the financial future that they desire. Now, while the intricacies of personal finance are far too nuanced for me to fully dive into within the time frame of this short video, I want to give you 3 fundamental steps to financial well-being that you can start implementing today in order to take control of your finances and pursue the future that you desire. In fact, to make it easy, I've organized these 3 fundamental steps to correspond to an easily remembered acronym: SPA. The S stands for savings, the P stands for paying debts, and finally the A stands for assets. Now, evidently, saving money is a necessary step to accrue wealth. Unless you are in a position in which you have received a large inheritance of illiquid assets, your capacity to reap the benefits of compound interest first requires you to identify how you can set aside money while still staying on top of your day-to-day expenses in order to support your own life and those around you. Now, the key to achieving this feat lies in the principle of budgeting. To budget correctly, you must be able to estimate and calculate all of the expenditures that you will be expected to pay within a discrete time frame, most often a month. This not only includes the things that you purchase directly, but could also include subscriptions, bills, utilities, interest payments, and other more discrete sources of payment. Furthermore, many may underestimate the actual amount that they are spending without a strict quantitative analysis. So I encourage you to go through your spending statements and receipts to find out how much you are actually spending. The next step is to identify your net monthly income. Your net income includes all sources of income, such as from your job, support from family members, or even dividends from stocks. However, it is important to correctly calculate your net income by subtracting tax deductions, such as payroll tax from your income or capital gains tax for your dividends, to ensure that you are not confusing your net income with your gross income. Now, when you have a pretty good idea of how much you are currently saving and spending in a month, you can start to adjust your budget to align with your savings goal. While the savings goal may vary immensely depending on your income level or age, a good foundational goal is to develop an emergency fund which contains enough money to provide you 3 full months worth of living expenses without any additional cash flow. When you have achieved this, you can start to tailor your savings goal to pursuing these next steps in the financial well-being journey. Now, if anyone has ever seen a family member or friend struggle with debt, they know how suffocating it can be, not just to their financial health, but also to their emotional, physical, and social well being. While debt and loans are undoubtedly necessary for most people to obtain the major purchases of one's life, such as a car, a house, or even an undergraduate or graduate college education, it must be managed responsibly. Before one can start investing to accrue wealth for their long term financial goals, they must have a plan to tackle their outstanding debts. While there are many different methods to tackling debt, I believe that the most effective one is the snowball method, whereby one pays off their highest interest payments first and then moves down the ladder to their lowest interest payments. Mathematically, this makes the most sense since the highest interest rate debt will grow the fastest, and by paying off this debt first, you will save the most money in the long run. But to execute this plan, you must fully assess all of your outstanding debts and organize each one with respect to its interest rate. From there, you can adjust your monthly savings goal to pay off your debt in an efficient but sustainable manner that does not fully interrupt your lifestyle and is reasonable given the total amount of debt you have outstanding and its interest rate. While paying off debts is hard and seemingly fruitless in the short term, it is necessary for the most powerful and fruitful part of anyone's financial journey, that being investing. The ability to grow your wealth by investing is one of the most ubiquitous pieces of financial advice, but is often masqueraded with complex financial jargon. As much of the media and popular attention towards investing deals with complicated and risky derivative markets like cryptocurrencies, futures, and options trading, many may be scared away from the idea of losing their hard earned money when investing. However, the reality could not be further from this. Historically, any basic index on the US stock market is essentially guaranteed to safely produce average annual returns of around 12%. In many senses, investigating in well-regulated stocks or mutual funds is actually much safer than simply stashing your money away in a bank where it will often sit in a money market fund, since the returns on this may be outpaced by inflation. Other well-tried investment instruments that are historically guaranteed to grow your wealth over the long term are bonds, commodities, and real estate. I believe that a good investment portfolio should at least somewhat diversify your savings across a variety of different assets to hedge your risk in both bull and bear markets. Stocks, for instance, tend to move positively with lower interest rates, fueling increased consumption and spending in the economy. Bonds, on the other hand, will generally have higher yields when the Fed puts upward pressure on interest rates, and therefore can be a safeguard against the losses suffered by stocks during these times. But regardless of what investment instruments you use, the most important principle for investing is to start early. When you start to invest early, even if it's not a large amount or you don't exactly get into the market at the right time, you allow the powerful mechanism of compound interest to do the work for you. By starting to invest in your early adult years, you can easily at least double the amount of money you'll have available for retirement than if you start in your 30s, as most people do. I hope that you were able to gain something from my brief yet critical overview of the fundamental steps to financial wellness. These steps are meant to be chronological. It will do you no good to jump straight into the stock market if you don't have a good idea of what your monthly budget looks like or you don't have a substantial plan to pay off your outstanding debts. More importantly, I encourage you to not just take my word at face value, but to do your own research and seek out resources around you to better your financial well-being. Your parents are a fantastic place to start. They have had to deal with probably most of the financial situations you may be worried about in their own adult life and can give you first-hand advice for success. If you get older and want to become more intricate about planning for your future, I encourage you to seek the advice of a professional financial advisor that can assist you. But regardless of how you choose to act, I encourage you to take at least one step towards improving your financial health right now. It doesn't have to be something hard or stressful. It can be as easy as checking your monthly credit card or debit card statements. But by putting your financial wellness into your subconscious in the same way that your physical and emotional wellness are, you're beginning your own path towards financial freedom and security in the long term. Thank you.